Hey, welcome back to another episode of Corporate Classy, but Please Come Correct podcast. I am your host, Alberta Thomas, and I am excited to talk about what I came to talk about on this episode. Just to kind of reflect a little bit in the last episode that you guys were able to listen to. If you haven't, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to it. I talked about healing through heartbreak and what that process looks like and all of those things, and kind of built on what my life coach and I talked about on the week before that episode, and just making sure I continue to bridge the gap there, because that was always one thing that we always talked about, or how your outside life can also impact work a lot. Trust me when I tell you, I see it on a regular basis. I too experience it on a regular basis, but it's important to make sure that whatever you're going through at that time, whether it's work, whether it's at home, that you find as much things, or you try your best to bridge the gaps that's going to cause you to be uncomfortable, anxious, fatigue, all of those things, that you find out how you can get to the root of what those issues are. And you can focus on what you can control. And that's the one thing that I'm always talking about with myself, with anybody that I have conversations with, is focus on what you can control. Like, you can't control if something else is going on with someone else. All you can do is, one, be there for them, to support them, or my favorite go-to question, and I promise y'all I got this from my best friend. Would you like for me to just listen, or do you want me to provide you with my thoughts, my opinion, or find a solution for this? Because being a type of person that I am, I'm a fixer. I want to fix everything. I want everybody to be happy. Kumbaya. But the reality is, it's not going to always be that case, right? So for me, I have to pose that question, because a lot of times, if you just automatically go to someone with a solution, that's probably not what they're looking for. And at that point, you probably just allow that person in that moment, they're going to shut down. They don't care what you got to say, because in this standpoint, they probably only wanted to come to you so they can vent. So they want someone to be there to listen, because maybe they don't have anyone else around them that are listening, and they just want to feel heard. And me personally, I know when I need to feel heard or want to feel heard, and sometimes I still got to work on how I want to stay heard, but also understanding where I'm right or wrong at the same time too. So I wanted to really talk about the topic that we're going to talk about on today, because I would tell you, when I am doing my episodes in my podcast, not only do I tailor it to myself, I tailor it with experiences that I see other people go through, or experiences from my personal self, or if it's something that someone is looking for. And maybe by them listening to this episode, I'm able to help them navigate through certain things, right? And so let me tell you what I did. People always say, Alberta, how did you get your podcast going and all of those things? And I want a podcast and all of those things. So what I continue to work on is finding out ways on how I can make it more streamlined, because, I built my podcast from the bottom. Right. So I went through all the hurdles, from me doing my own research, from me learning from other people online. Like, I did so much work. And for me, I want to find a way to make it streamlined. So if someone asks me for it, or if somebody needs some guidance for it, that they can easily get started without going through the same headaches, hurdles, and still learning that I go through. But it is a beautiful thing to, especially when, for me, my podcast is really truly my safe place, where I can talk, where I can vent, where I can say things. And if you listen to like the first season versus this season, it's a little different, right? Because I think that first initial couple of episodes, it's like, oh, I gotta find what my niche is. What do the people really want to hear? Do they want that soft voice? Do they want that stern voice? Like, what is it that people want and need? And what I realize is that every episode you may get something different. You may get a different tone. You may get a whole different experience from what you're used to. But that's the beautiful thing about being able to, one, click through what episode is going to work for you. Two, that you listen and go through this journey with me, to understand that we have similarities regardless of what you look like, what roles you have, what do you do on a regular basis, what your needs are, what your desires are. But hopefully you're able to go through this process so that you too can find your own journey, your own way, to do whatever it is that you're learning and continuing to want to do, right? And so I said all of that, right? To say that I was in here thinking like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to bring to the table? And so it didn't down on me. So again, when you're in entrepreneurship, marketing yourself. You use so many different things to market. You use so many different things to target your audience of what it is that you're looking for so they can get this podcast, right, in their hands. And so I ran a Google ad that is very huge. So entrepreneurs, if you're not using it and you want to promote your business, it is good. It is amazing. It can help your business and your brand in so many ways. I need to reach out to Google because I just gave them a shout out with no pay. But it is a really good thing. Now, sometimes, let me tell you, if you don't put that stop date on there and that Google ad continues to run, your bank account is going to continue to run. So making sure that you know how to use some of those tools, and make sure that you put that stop date, or you in it on that particular day. You can do a hard stop too, because that money gonna keep going and you're gonna keep growing, and your business is gonna keep getting in the hands of so many different people, which is a beautiful thing. But also just making sure that you understand that's the tool that I use, and it is phenomenal. And so I was like, you know what? Let me go back in this tool because I love it. I love it because you're able to learn to see what it is that people are looking for. What are they searching? What do people need help with? And so I'm like, okay, this goes back to giving people what they need and what they want based upon my personal experiences or what I saw. And so one of those top topics I would say that came up where a lot of people was questioning, right? They had so many questions about how to love themselves. That's big. I'm going to say it one more time. I had a large amount of people searching in Google how to love yourself. That's big. And, in my mind, being someone who, one, I always love myself. Two, I now overly love myself. And I put so much into me to where it's like, but dang, I can't believe people really still struggle with that. And that's a big one. So that's kind of what we're going to navigate through today because for me, it is my goal that if you are within reach of me, that you understand how to love yourself, how to give yourself everything that you need, how to take care of yourself, um, and making sure that you are feeling that fulfillment within yourself. And I don't care if you in relationships, you got a whole bunch of friends, or you may have 4 or 5 friends, but how do you really truly love yourself? And knowing that if for any reason a friend might leave, a loved one might leave you, that you are still feeling whole because you put that much time and goodness into yourself. And so that's my part. That's what I'm strong at. And people probably would say overly confident in, but it's crazy because I am overly confident in myself. But man, I'm the most humble person you will probably meet. And I adore being able to create spaces where I can allow people to showcase them, to put them on a platform, or put them in a place where you understand that you too are well deserving if you work right. I'm not just going to hand you something. I'm just not going to show up just to show up. But if you're truly wanting to work and you truly have something going on, and it's good, and you've created that plan, I want you to understand that I got your back and I'm rocking with you. And I'm one person, and anybody you can talk to will let you know whether we still friends or not, whether we used to go together or not. One thing that they would tell you about me is that, man, I had good times with C. Man, she got a good heart. She actually gives a damn. She cares. And I have a lot of laughter, goodness. I also, miss her sternness because I'm tough. Let's be clear. I am tough. But at the end of the day, I understand that me loving myself first is very important. And I always lead with that in conversations, or when I do a post, because that I really want people to understand, like, it's you, baby. Everything else that comes around you is added value, but it's all about you. I don't care if you got kids. I don't care if you don't have kids. If you got a partner, if you don't got a partner, like, you got to feel whole. Because when you get in those friendships and relationships, or if you at work and you feel a sense of something missing, that's going to pour into that relationship, into that work environment. And it ain't going to always be good. And so I want to make sure I talk about this one because this one is big for me, where there was so many people that still don't know how to love themselves. And it's kind of hard to see too when you are into the social media, cuz I am. Listen, I was just talking to my guy, and it's so hard because on social media, especially Instagram, I told him I think Instagram hates me. But it is crazy because I follow celebrity stars. I don't understand why I'm not a blogger, because I know everything. I know everything that's going on in celebrities' lives. And to where it's like, wait, but hold on. I don't get to see my normal people, right? The people I know. Like, it's so bad to the point where I have to literally go and like search on people page. If I think of someone, I'm like, I wonder what so and so doing. So I go and search because I don't ever see it on my timeline. And so when I go and search now, where I'm thinking of someone, I'll start like turning on the notifications. So if they post something, I'm able to go see, to show love, to show support, because I'm hung up in the blogger. And that's how I spend my self time. I'm going to tell you, my self care, my self love, a part of that is me kicking it. Like, I will watch crap TV. I got that from one of my young lady friends. Listen, she call it crap TV when I be looking at all these reality shows. Um, I adore that. Now, do I think it's going to corrupt my mind? Absolutely not, because I know it's BS and it's all kind of stuff going on. But that's a part of what I like to look at sometimes, what I get in my little mode and want to watch. And it is what it is. But I do too also think that when we talk about the importance of self love, that we make sure that we are being selfish. And that probably sounds bad, but when we talk about self-love, you got to make sure that you're being selfish with yourself, and being very cautious of the love that you give to yourself, and make sure it's good love, right? Make sure you are spending time with yourself. you're setting healthy boundaries, and that you are always, I'm telling you, 90.5% of the time, if not 95% of the time, I always want to maintain in a good space and a good head place. Now, I'm saying that because some days it's hard. Some days I'm like, I don't want to do this today. All of this, I got this. It's always everyone else, not see. Like, I have moments like that. But that's where you have to spend that extra time with yourself to understand that, no, see, you're built for this in this moment. It is a season, and that you have to keep going and keep pressing, because that's your purpose. Like, your purpose is for people to see themselves more than what they can see for themselves, right? But also, it is important that when you have to halt, and so sometimes I would have to say, hey, Saturday is my day. I don't want to do anything. I want to be with myself, by myself, and love on myself. And I make that very clear as day. And a lot of people will say, shit, you're always by yourself. You don't got goddamn kids. No, but I have a very high needy job with amazing people around me, where I have to pour, and make sure they are good too, because I adore them. But I also have to make sure I take time for myself, because I want to continue to give them that energy as much as possible. And I want to give my circle or anyone I come in connection with that same freaking energy. So, in order for me to continue to do that, I have to make sure that I am being selfish with myself. And no, you can't have me today. No, we can't talk today. Yes, I'm going to be hashtag unavailable today. Y'all, look, very interesting story. I am going off topic just a little bit. So, when we talk about work, y'all know I love my work family. My platform is built off my work family and my personal life, because it intertwines together. There is no way to balance it. But it is to make sure that it all works in sync together. So, I have some amazing people on my team, and I always say, when somebody want me to do something or they need me, I'm like, unavailable, 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 unavailable. That's all I talk about. So, my particular two people went on a trip, on a vacation, and they ended up getting the tattoo unavailable on their freaking arm. On their arm. Like, it is a beautiful freaking thing. It is beautiful. And I when they sent it to me, I damn near cried my eyes out in here. I'm going to get the tattoo myself. Like, it's one of those things where it is a bond, and they are not my blood, right? But they love me, they respect me as their leader, and they understand that, I go hard for you because you go even harder for me and for yourself. And the fact that y'all permanently attach the word that I use all the time on your arm, nobody can tell me that ain't a good leader. That, God damn it, can't nobody tell me that's not a good leader. And so I am committed to getting the same tattoo on my shoulder, and it's gonna happen. But it's a beautiful thing when you just have good people around you, and that's a part of you being able to continue to love on yourself, right? What do that inner circle look like for you? Who are you affiliating yourself with that is pouring into you, that's giving you that goodness, that's kindness, that's not coming after you in anger, where also you can still be able to release the pressures of life, work, all of those things. But that person and that circle need to be able to allow you to release those things, but not only release those things and let it all out, but also say, hey, now that is out the way, let's talk about how we're going to press forward, baby girl, baby boy, right? How we're going to move forward. And so I'm always talking about making sure your circle, your support system is a good one, that your inner circle is challenging you to be a better person, to love, also love on you and pour into you and all of those things. So I love that. And when we talk about what does loving on yourself look like, right? And that could be from a physical care, right? Some people like to exercise. I have the hardest time staying consistent. Now that's the work. That's the challenge for me. Talk about the challenge. That is the challenge in me staying consistently wanting to go to the gym to work out. Because when I'm on, I'm on. But if something mess up my routine and I get thrown off, I'm just off completely. So whether it's that, because I know people who, if I don't go to the gym, it's horrible. Like my day is bad. And also for me, I feel like if I don't take time for myself, like in the morning, to get myself together in that quiet and alone space, that I am not going to be my best self, because I didn't took that quality time for myself to get myself going for that day. And that comes from me meditating. I journal a lot. I listen to a lot of good stuff that gives me that motivation to keep me going. And that's really a part of my day-to-day routine. So I have a routine. I say good things to myself. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I wash my body. I get dolled up to sit behind a computer sometime, or to go in the store when I have to work. And so I take care of my physical self, because me looking good, me smelling good, it does something to me, not for nobody else. It does something to me. And right now, shout out to my girl Donna, who bought me this amazing birthday gift. But she got me some Burberry Goddess perfume. Y'all, if you haven't smelled it or got it, I highly encourage you to do so. I'm even thinking about buying it and raffling it off to a young lady or something. It smells so good. Like, I love putting it on. It smells good. And I am really hard when it comes to perfumes, because my nose get to burning, and I'm really picky with smells. So when I find a couple of perfumes that smell good, that's right for my nose, where I can be able to breathe and not sneeze all day, it's a beautiful thing. And so something is really good for my spirit when I just get up and I feel good, the music is going. And some days I wake up on 10, right, where I might be listening to hip hop or cursing someone out, and majority of the time I'm listening to something soothing and peaceful, R&B, or a nice modern gospel song. I don't even know if that's what you call it, Lord. I don't even know, but I'm so picky with music too. So like those things, like that's a large bulk of my time where I am really gentle, I'm really soft. But at the same time, I'm also very stern, and what I say is what I say, and what I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do. Um, and so I think taking care of your physical care, what are you eating? Are you getting enough rest, man? Y'all, one thing I don't play about is going to bed, okay? And I'm not really up super late at night unless it's on the weekends or something like that. But during the week, oh yeah, I'm going to sleep. And I do that because I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Like, because that's how I kick off my day. And then the only way I can get up to kick off my day like that is I gotta go to bed. So it's hilarious. Because I always tell my guy, it's time to go to bed, and it's like 9 o'clock. He's like, what? It's 9 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I'll see you in a minute. So just being able to set those things and set those clear boundaries. And what is that physical care look like for you, right? Is it you wish you had maybe a couple of more hours of rest? You feel maybe you'll feel better for your mental standpoint. Or what is it that you're eating? Are you eating things that get you stuff? Are you eating things that don't make you feel right in your tummy? Do you like to work out? Do you meditate? Do you journal? It's so many different ways on how you can really take care of that physical side of things. And I think that kind of ties into from like a emotional and mental standpoint, right? When I journal, two things happen and it's so serious. Either one, I put something on paper that's going to be left on paper, or two, I'm able to navigate what I just wrote on the paper and kind of understand, like, okay, do I need to talk about this? Would this thing come up again? And if it does, I know I need to go have that conversation because I'm going to get triggered again. And so I also talk about the goodness. And that's crazy. I talk about the goodness of me waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I talk about the goodness of me, man. I had a good day. My team is good. No one had anything to get them off their toes today. Nobody interrupt the flow of their processes today. In my relationships, my friends, they're good today. They started off having a good day. They end the day with a good day. So those are the things that I talk about, right? And I also talk about when I'm left, when I'm on the left side and I'm mad and I'm angry at the world because the world is whirling right now. I don't even know if that's a saying. I just made that up. Don't nobody take it. But life is hard. And for us not taking time to take care of self, meaning emotionally, mentally, physically, then something is wrong. And the hardest thing for people to do, and I was there one before, is setting boundaries. Okay. When you set boundaries with people, and I'm talking about at work, at home, when you set boundaries, it showcases your value as a person and your time. And I know how I show up for me. So if someone is not able to play in the areas of meeting that, what are you going to do to show up for me? So I can feel like you showing up for me, or I can feel that you're here and you're supporting me. Like, are you matching my energy? Or what areas of a part of me that you know that I need tune up or tune finding, or what part of me can you connect with that's going to want me to have you in my space or in my circle? Because if none of those things are working out, then you're going to get the bare minimum. But at the end of the day, even when you get the bare minimum, I'm going to make sure you're good. I'm going to bring it up and say, hey, I'm missing something, or hey, this is what is going on with me. And so I talk about those things more than often, to make sure that we're always on the same page. So frequently checking in, making sure you're good, and making sure people understand that you value yourself and you value people valuing you. Man, that was a good one too. So those are the things that I focus on when we talk about daily routines of self-love. I talk about my morning rituals. I get up, affirmation, I give myself grace. Um, I'm singing, I'm happy. Like I want to wake up happy. I don't want to wake up angry, frustrated. I wake up with a good stretch. I wake up with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. I wake up in a place that I'm able to come to, a bed that I'm able to get up out of, an office that I'm able to walk in with good vibes and good energies. I'm able to light my candle. I'm able to walk. So I am so grateful for being able to have so much in life that a lot of times, because we don't take time to really sit in it and be grateful and give yourself grace and give yourself love and affirmation and understand that someone wish they had a bed to lay in and get up out of. Someone wish they had shoes on their feet. Someone wish they can walk into a store and buy that purse, buy those earrings, get whatever they want, right? Someone wish they had that. So being grateful for what you have and being mindful of what kind of energies and spaces that you have around you. And so those things are super important too. And I talked about it earlier. Regular check-ins, like you got to check in with yourself. If you're not journaling every day, because you got to build that habit. Because at first, y'all, it was probably once or twice a week, but not every day. But you got to build that habit. Build it. Now, because I do record podcasts, like episodes and stuff like that, I am recording myself. So when I get in moods or something click in my mind, I'm quick to record it because I want people to know what that thing is. Or I also too got to figure out what that thing is and why did that just trigger me, or why am I on this side today? And let me get myself back right. And you have to continue to do things like that. And end of the day reflection, that's a big one because I do that too throughout my day. At the end of the day, just being grateful for that day. And I talked about it earlier, reflecting on it. And that can be, if you're not a writer, because not everybody writes, that could be you thinking, like, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about what went on that day and how you can make it better? Are you practicing self compassion for any of the challenges that you face that day? So it could be so many different things. And you just got to be able to be okay going through that. You have to be, I'm telling you, you have to be okay talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, the things that people see, the things that people don't, and be real about where you are. And once you're able to identify that, then that's where you start. When you can have some self accountability and take some ownership in where you are in life from a mental standpoint, from how much you actually know of loving yourself, that's where you start. And building resilience, that's a big one. I've been dealing with a lot of, how would I put this? I personally have been dealing with a lot of me feeling like I'm not being respected, like what I say don't mean a thing, or me having to reset expectations again after I just did, or me being challenged with the with things happening in life. Let me tell y'all an interesting story. Since we're talking about resilience, I'm gonna talk about this on this episode too, because this is where you have to know when to draw the line and set boundaries. So I am going to the dentist, right? I want to have these amazing teeth in my mouth. So I'm going to the dentist. When I tell y'all a lot of work, oh my God, it's so much work. I hate the dentist. I fear the dentist 100%. And so, in the midst of me, building out my treatment plans and what that thing looks like and how we're going to attack every angle and things of that, the the lady at the desk, she goes to tell me like, if this is too much for you, let me know. I want to show you some other options. And goes online, show me other options of me doing something around a program where it was like international, I guess, dentists who are just out of college and learning this skill, and then they do things for discounts. And I'm like, well, who said I need a discount? Who said I can't pay my treatment bill? So you just placed me in a box of what you thought in your mind as a person of saying that I can't afford my treatments when I never gave you that. I pay every treatment. I come in faithfully and go through the treatment process. So at what point did you thought it was okay to provide me a resource that I didn't even ask for, or I didn't even have any questions? Man, and that's that stuff that we go through. And that's why I say it is important for me to start my day and end my day on a good note, because throughout the day, sometimes it get hard and it's a constant battle, especially for me as a woman, yet alone a Black woman. The battles that I go through is insane, but I'm built for it. It's not okay, and I'm gonna keep knocking it down. So it's just like simple things like that. I gotta make sure I am good so I can bounce back and say what I need to say to people respectfully but also get my point across so you know not to try me again. And it's okay to do that, because it goes back to you setting your boundaries, your expectations, and you standing on that and making sure that people respect you. That you're able to improve your relationships by loving on yourself. I'm telling you, if you treat yourself with so much love and care, you will tend to do that for other people as well. And that's big for me. And living good, right? Living based upon your life, what you are in alignment with, what are the things that you want to do, what makes you happy, what's going to make you feel fulfilled. And also, when you do those things, make sure you remain in safety too. But those are the beautiful things. And I would say this lastly is that, life is hard. And one thing I don't want anyone to do is be unhappy, be sad, or be complacent with life. Um, if you don't like something, change it. If you struggle with loving yourself, change it. I gave so many ways of how you can change it in this episode, but you have to put in the work. I always love myself. I know that for sure, but I wasn't always as bold as I am now. I'm bold because I learned more and I had to do some more self work. I'm able to navigate my triggers, my past experiences a different way because I did the work. And a lot of times we can sit out here and say that the world is horrible and we're mad and we're angry and be mad for the rest of our lives at just life or ourselves. But you haven't done the work to get out of that funk. And that will always be my challenge. Now, granted, I'm not no doctor, I'm not a therapist. I do believe I need to be a life coach. I truly, deep down inside, know that's a part of me where I need to be. But I can only speak off experiences. I may have always loved myself and always had confidence in who I was, but I still needed work too. And the only way I was able to tap into that work is by me doing the work and making sure I'm in the spaces and the circles that's going to allow me to flourish. And they're also going to add value to me and to give me what I need, because I set the tone. I set the tone for how I need to be loved. So that would be my challenge. But also know that don't waste energy. Don't waste time. Don't waste your energy complaining, upset, mad when things don't go your way. Don't wait. It's wasteful time. I get it. I'm always mad because I'm the baby out of three siblings. I'm the youngest. And so I'm used to having my way. And I still have my way today. Just saying. But because I was that way and because I am the baby and I was spoiled, and still very much spoiled, and I spoil myself and people that's around me gonna spoil me too. But it's always a place of what that looks like, right? And so I think too, it goes back to how you want to show up for yourself, and that's how people gonna treat you. But also please just do the self work. Like, I have a life coach who allows me to go through my day-to-day life, who helps me navigate some of the things when it's get tough. She helped me navigate the good things. And she's just an amazing person who is also my friend at the same time, which is a beautiful thing, right? So just making sure that you continue to love yourself, that you keep that balance of work and personal, kind of harmonizing it together as much as possible, because they kind of flood, and making sure that you're setting clear expectations and that you love and that you care for yourself and that you're able to lead yourself in having more fulfillment and a more stable lifestyle where you can accomplish so much and so much good things going to come to you. I mean, understand me, sometimes it's going to be hard. Like, things don't go the way you see fit or plan. But it's just that you have to keep fighting a good fight, fighting your thoughts. Like, What is causing you to be so angry? Whatever that it or that person is, or that lack of love for self, whatever that is, you got to let that thing go and you got to move forward and not just dwell in that stuff. And that's a big part. And I just appreciate everyone who take time to listen to my podcasts, my episodes, because I put so much thought into things, and I am opening up a space, and I will continue to open up a space that allows me to be more vulnerable, to express the life that we're in, and to understand that just because we got our shit together don't mean we don't got things going on. And if you don't got your shit together, listen to this podcast so you can have things together and got shit going on. And understand that in this life, it can't just be you. It's not just about you. Even when you're going through this process, it starts with you, but understand that life is so much bigger than you and I. And so for me, as long as I maintain myself and make sure that I'm good, I know I got a purpose out here, and it is to make sure that every situation, everything that pops up, every place or opportunities, whether it's good or bad, that I'm placed in, that I don't just show up for me, but I'm also showing up for the betterment and the goodness of people around me. That's going to make people better and understand that I support you, and I got your back and you got mine. So I hope you were able to find something meaningful out of this episode and understand that this is a safe space, right? So if you haven't already, please click that follow button and subscribe to this podcast. I've been working. My viewers have been going up. My people that started to follow me has been on a rise. I've been in so many different connections and I love it. Oh my God. Yeah, like I am just so blessed for anyone who give me something. I'm so blessed for you being able to take 30 minutes, or for this episode, probably 40 minutes out of your day to just listen to me ramble and talk about life and talk about things that people actually struggle with on a regular basis. And I want to make sure I continue to provide a space like that where it's good, where you're comfortable, where you're able to hear me talk about some of the day-to-day things that we deal with, and understand not only do you have struggles, but I have struggles too. And you are not alone, and we in this thing together, okay? And don't forget, I am on almost every single platform when we talk about my podcast. So you can find me on Apple Podcasts. You can find me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So whatever platform that you use, look for it. I'm there. You can search Corporate Classy, but please come correct podcast, or you can type in my name, Alberta Thomas, and it will pop up for you. I would tell you I'm on YouTube. I gotta get better at that, but I am on YouTube as well. Also, social media. Search my name. Search Bravo CC. I'm on Thread, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I have my own Corporate Classy podcast page on Facebook. So I am all over the place. You cannot say you don't have access to me, because I make sure you have access to me. But all you got to do is follow me and listen and be a part of a journey that's going to be big and it's going to be great. And that you can also be a part of this with me too, if it's something you want to do. So thank you guys too for tapping in and joining in with me. But until next time, peace.